Hey people, it is Thursday, July the 11th. It's currently 6:02 p.m. and about 25 degrees Celsius. Feeling more like 30 Celsius with the Humidex. And I'm in Maple Leaf Square, looking at the southerly entrance into Union Station. And behind you can see some of the towers of the financial district to the north. So that would make this the South Core I'm currently in. I think I'm going to make my way back north. I'm just going to take a bit of a walk through part of the South Core here. Maybe we'll check out some of the traffic chaos around Lakeshore Boulevard and the Gardiner Expressway. We are still in rush hour. There's a look west along Bremner Boulevard. You can see the CN Tower coming into view. And this is also the westerly entrance into Scotiabank Arena. I'm going to walk around the southern side of the arena. That'll take us over to Bay Street. The Harbor Plaza condominiums. One of my favorite of the recent wave of tall condo towers to pop up in the South Core. I think it's just the funky balcony patterns that do it for me. And here is the Gardiner Expressway. Sure what exactly is being done around here right now with all this fencing. It's not usually here. Here's the old Art Deco post office building that was incorporated into the arena when it was constructed. They don't really make them like this anymore. Glad that this was preserved, at least in part. And here's the traffic nonsense that's always taking place here on Lakeshore Boulevard. It's quite the serious situation, really. There's been countless media stories about all the troubles that this stretch of Lakeshore Boulevard creates for just about everybody who has to experience it. There was even a story recently about one of the former members of One Direction was playing a concert here at Scotiabank Arena. And he was trying to make his way to the arena for his show in a car on Lakeshore Boulevard, and he was stuck in traffic for so long that he had no choice but to get out of the car and walk to the arena, otherwise he'd be late for his own show. That's how bad it is. And he did a social media post about that, talking about Toronto's traffic. look north up Bay Street. The CIBC Square Tower, and its twin under construction. I'm going to cross Bay Street though. We'll walk past the city bus terminal, which has also experienced loads of trouble due to the traffic, with buses getting stuck here on Lakeshore Boulevard and not being able to get into the terminal, sometimes taking an extra hour than their scheduled arrival time, being only blocks away from the bus terminal. So it's quite ridiculous. There's been talk of the need for some bus-only lanes once the approach to the terminal along Lakeshore Boulevard, and I think that makes a lot of sense. I mean, there's already traffic congestion anyway. At least let the buses be able to access the bus terminal. Otherwise, what's the point of it being located here? I know if I was on a bus just a short walk away from the terminal and I was sitting for an hour stuck in traffic within sight of my destination, I wouldn't be very happy about that, especially if I had plans and things to do and wanted to get underway. I guess they didn't really think this through too much when they located the terminal here. It's a beautiful bus terminal though. It's a vast improvement over the old one in terms of the actual building and the size and its capacity. I guess they just weren't anticipating the traffic chaos being as bad as it is now. There's a GO bus right there. So it's trying to get into the terminal here. Who knows how long it's been crawling along in traffic, making its approach to the terminal though. And I see two more buses behind making their way. He's like, just let me through, I'm almost there. He's literally just one car away from being able to access the entryway here. Finally, that'll be a sigh of relief for everyone on board. Yeah, it looks like this bus is lucking out. It can come right in here. And the one behind as well. Got a character behind me ranting about something. All right, now I have to kind of wait for the buses to enter before I can keep moving. Here's another one. Well, maybe I'll go. Looks like I have a bit of a break here. So there's the Flixbus. I took Flixbus recently from Edmonton to Calgary. And all in all, I thought it was a very positive experience. My first time ever riding on Flixbus. It had a very reasonable fare. The bus looked brand new, spick and span interior, the washroom also. And it made really good time. It only stopped, I think, once during the entire trip between Edmonton and Calgary. So, based on my experience, I definitely recommend Flixbus. And Megabus, I've also had mostly good experiences with. It's just the prices aren't quite as reasonable as they used to be. Going back 10 years or so, Megabus seemed more like what Flixbus is now, price-wise. But you can still get some good deals on Megabus if you book ahead of time. And they do have these double-decker buses, which I quite like. Alright, well, I think we had a taste of the traffic situation here at Lakeshore Boulevard and Bay Street to Yonge Street. We're currently walking north on Yonge. There's the Sky Tower, future tallest building in Canada. It's just over 30 floors now. It'll eventually get up to 105 stories, in which case I'll have to pan way up here to see the top of it. It'll be probably another couple of years before that's topped out. Although it's moving at a pretty good pace, maybe another year. Of course, it'll still be much shorter than the CN Tower. It'll come up to about the observation level there in the tower. So nice to be a pedestrian and not someone sitting inside of a car going nowhere. There's the Esplanade. And another look at CIBC Square, Phase 2. And here's an Ontario Northland bus making its way to the terminal. I noticed recently that they have this fleet of these shorter buses. Not the big old coach buses that they usually had in their fleet. I think they still have some of the bigger ones too, but these definitely are a new addition. So I'm at Front and Young. I'm going to make my way, I think, a bit east and then continue north. So look straight up Yonge Street. I'm just trying to decide which way I want to go. I think I'd like to walk up Victoria Street, so we'll leave this part of Yonge Street for another walk. I've done quite a few recent walks along downtown Yonge. Maybe I'll take Victoria Street, which is just the next street to the east. And since we're so close to the dog fountain, I'll just take a little loop through Brooksea Park here. Here's Victoria Street. We'll come back to that.
Yeah, I was like, I fucking don't know.
Trying to ride the dog, I think. Kind of reminds me of when I was a kid. Every grocery store had one of those coin-operated animal rides that really just sort of would wiggle back and forth, I guess. There's usually a horse. Sort of a rocking motion, I suppose, for a quarter. It would last maybe a couple of minutes. And I would always beg to take a ride on those things. All right, so let's head north onto Victoria Street. I think we're technically on Scott Street right now. Victoria begins just after crossing Colburn Street here. There's the King Edward Hotel. That's the back side of it. And I've always loved this view looking west. So Victoria Street is much quieter than neighboring Yonge Street. The sidewalks over on Yonge are pretty jam-packed now, and also I saw lots of traffic backed up all the way to the north, but here it's pretty open and clear. So if you're not a fan of crowded sidewalks and car exhaust, and you want to make your way north to south in this part of downtown, I definitely recommend taking a stroll on Victoria instead of Yonge. Might lack the pizzazz of Yonge, but it's definitely a bit more chill and relaxed. Let me see if I can get across King Street here. There's the streetcar right-of-way. It's really a streetcar priority system set up. Car traffic is partially restricted, allowing streetcars to travel more freely through the downtown core along King Street. And there's some very nice historic buildings on Victoria Street. That's also where you find the backsides of some buildings fronting onto Yonge Street. I think this is just called the Victoria Tower. It's an early skyscraper dating back about 100 years or so. Here is Adelaide. Crossing Lombard Street. The guy just casually lying on the sidewalk there smoking crack. I don't know if I captured that on camera or not. Looks like we had a ice baby sort of situation there. Crossing Richmond Street. I also thought this was curious how they use the actual Friends TV show logo for their store, Friends Convenience. You'd think they'd get some sort of cease and desist order or something, unless it's just been completely under the radar. Here's Queen Street. And it's completely blocked off between Victoria and Bay as work is undergoing for the new Ontario Line subway. I don't see any point in waiting for this light, really. I think I can still walk on this side of the street, even though that arrow told me I should cross. Looks perfectly passable to me. I like these old advertising paintings on the side of the old buildings. That's the back of the Toronto Winter Garden Theatre. It's a stacked theatre, with one theatre built on top of the other. I guess it's the Elgin and Winter Garden Theatre, which are the two theatres that are stacked upon one another. So this is where Victoria Street has a bit of a back alley look to it. It's a St. Mike's Hospital on the right. Not much street interaction here either. It's a big, mostly blank wall. That is Massey Hall on the corner of Shooter. And its recent new renovation here, Allied Music Center. We'll see the historic front entrance. once I cross Shooter Street. There it is there. I recently went to a show there. See a stand-up comic, Mike Birbiglia. Pantages Hotel and Condominium. It's next door to what was once the Pantages Theater, but it's now called the Ed Mervis Theater. I guess they felt they couldn't change the name of the hotel after the theater changed their name. And this is the backside of this theater as well. He's front onto Yonge Street. Much more visually appealing on that side. I wonder how much longer this parking lot will continue to be located here. It's prime for redevelopment. And finally, the Senator restaurant is open. Every time I walk past here, it's closed because I usually walk past later on. So it's nice to see it open and full of people and activity. This is the Jazz Bistro. And the old H&R, another early skyscraper, if you want to call it that. It's about 15 stories, but at the time it was built, it was definitely one of the taller buildings in the city. Approaching Dundas Street. So we walked along most Victoria Street. It does go on for another block or so to the north into the TMU campus. And then it ends at Gould Street, so literally one more block. I think I hear an air ambulance taking off from the helipad atop St. Mike's Hospital. If you're wondering what that noise is. Here we are at Yonge and Dundas, or approaching Yonge and Dundas. Always lots of action around here and many characters. And this is called the Tenor, this large complex. And I actually have to head inside there. Visit the Dollarama store before I head home. This is close to where I live. I live about a 7 or 8 minute walk to the east of here.
Oh, it's you saying this shit?
walk light is on for all crossings. This is a scramble intersection. So that about does it for this walk. I'll wrap it up right here at the corner of Yonge and Dundas. So I hope you enjoyed. We started in the South Core and took a look at the traffic situation around the bus terminal, which is quite something. We did see a lot of buses. Most of them seem to be making their way in, but who knows how long they were stuck in slow-moving traffic making their way to the entrance. But in any case, and then we made our way over to Victoria Street and north here to the epicenter of the city, as some would say. So leave a comment down below if you enjoyed, and be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And also make sure you hit that notification bell so that you don't miss any of my videos. If you'd like to support the channel, there are links in the description where you can do so via PayPal as well as via my merch store. Or you can also support the channel by becoming a channel member or by sending a super thanks if you prefer. And you can find me on Instagram under KContinuum. So, thanks for watching. Did I say that already? And thanks to all the channel members. All I can hear is the walk sign is on for all crossings. And be sure to keep checking back because, as always, I will continue.